Well, hey everyone, it's Scott with NewPortraitBiz.com, and what I'm going to do today is walk you through the steps that I used to create this image right there. More importantly, how I took this image, which was shot white on white, which is actually pretty hard to cut out if you're trying to use some of the obvious tools, which would be either the quick selection tool or the magic wand tool. Now, I'm not going to go into either one of these right now. The magic wand tool, I'll just show you briefly. If you go over here and you even take your tolerance down to 10, you're going to click on there and you're going to see it's going to be very hard to establish an edge because it's blending into the white that's already currently there. Now, you could go in here and use the quick selection tool and that will do a much better job, but what I've found in this particular case, what I used was the pen tool. And the pen tool is kind of forgotten about nowadays because in all of the new versions of Photoshop, people are just using, like, the quick selection is probably one of the more popular ones now, and I could use that for this probably and get away with it, but I've found that it's just as quick for me to go in here and use the pen tool. So that's what I'm going to use today because I don't see a lot of people using it anymore, and I wanted to highlight that. Now, let me just point out I am using CS5 in this video. You can use CS6 or any versions actually with the pen tool. CS2 even has it. I know because I used that for years, and actually version 6, not even CS, before CS, 6 has it, and I believe even versions earlier than that. So with that being said, I just want to let you know what version I am using. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to start to cut this image out. And then what I'll do is I'm going to show you a few of the steps, and then what I'll do is I'll pause the video, let you see how I've selected everything, and then from there we'll resume. But for right now, I just wanted to at least show you that you can barely even see an edge here. I'm not really worried because I'm not going to see this part of the image when I insert it into that digital prop. So let me just show you. I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start to establish this. Now, one big thing is I usually like to go inside of either the outfit or the skin versus outside of it because I want to make sure that I clip some of that. And most times you're not going to know that you're that you're actually clipping something off. So anyway, from there I make that point. Okay, now if I just go over here and I click, you can see it's going to automatically make a bend in it. All right, so that's not what I want. So I have to basically delete this, or not delete, but I have to remove these handles. And in order to do that, you can either right click on it and then you can either delete the anchor point altogether and start over, right? But then once I bend this, see, I'm holding my mouse down and bending it, right? So what I'm gonna do is Option, click on this, okay? And then you can see it goes away, all right? So it's Option or Alt, and then that'll make that go away. And then from there I can set a new point and I can establish how I want it to bend. Now if I think that that's going to be okay to bend there, then I'll just go ahead and click, give it a little bend, then I'm going to go Option Alt right there, go with that, make another point, and keep going. Alright, so what I'm going to do is just pause the video real quick, and then I will pick up where I left off, or maybe I'll come back in halfway, show you where I'm going, and I'll tell you how long it took. So this way here you kind of get an idea. But once you get good at it, it's not going to take as long as you would think. Now let me just jump in here. We're going around some of this area that's very, and I'm going to zoom in on, I'm going to go 300%. You can see that it's very jagged, right? So what you want to do here, and this is what I found that makes a big difference, is you don't want to go in here and make these really smooth lines because it's not smooth to begin with. So what I mean by that is you want to start making a lot of points. Like look at here how I went through and I just started creating all these points. And what I did basically was went here, then I go here, then I might go here, then I might go here, and then I might take this one and bend it just a little bit and then come back up here. So you can see I'm making it not look so smooth and so regular. So I'm just working my way around. And I'm holding my space bar down, and then that allows me to move around here at being magnified at 300%, which helps a lot. Okay, so I let off the space bar, make another point, and then I'll bring it up. Now you see if I bring it all the way up, I can bend it out like this, I can bend it in like this. I'm just gonna curve it around so I stay on that line. I'm gonna hold down my Option or my Alt, click it, make that go away, and then continue. And you can see I want to stay on that line. I do not want to go outside of that line. I want to stay right on the clothing in this case. All right, so I just wanted to pop back in with that, and let's continue. Now I'm coming back in here and I want to show you the skin. Right around the edge of the skin, you can see I've pulled it up to 300. I can even go more. Let me go 400%. And you're going to see, like, I do not want my points. Let me just start a point here. Because if I go out here, I do not want to go outside there at all, okay? I want to definitely make sure that I'm in on the skin. So see right there, I'm cutting off some of those pixels. Now here, you can see a little dip, a little bend in the thing, in the arm. Just lightly go there and just make sure that you're clipping the skin. It's going to make it a lot easier when you blend the two images or the background with this. It's going to make it look more natural, all right? So from there, like I said, you just want to keep going around, and like here I got another bend in it, so I'm going to strike it here and then I'm going to bend it in a little bit, and I'm okay if I did that. You're going to see that it's not going to, when you zoom back out on this, it's not going to be as noticeable as you think it would be. See, now here you can see I left a little white there. If I zoom in on that, you can see I left a little bit of white there. I don't want that. I could go back and clean it up later, but I don't want to, so I can just go there. You can see I even left it there. So what's that mean? Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reestablish this point maybe, or maybe I'm going to start another one here. You know, like right here. See how I've got this bar here again? So maybe I'm going to take that off so that way I can establish the exact line that I want. Once you get the hang of it, it's not that hard, and I actually prefer using this because I can get really precise where I want to be, and I can just really float around here. I mean, as I'm talking to you right here, you can see I'm talking, but I'm almost doing it without even thinking about it. I know how the pen tool reacts, so I know what I can get away with, what I can't get away with, and that all takes practice. I mean, this is, you know, we're practicing here. Let me go back because I might have made that look square. We don't want a knuckle to look square right now, so I'm going to just put a little bit of a slight bend in it, and then just keep following this around. Now you can see down here, I should have stopped back here. It's not going to matter because this is all going to be covered. But now that I zoom back out, you can see that this actually is part of the dress. So if I wanted to, I can just go here, click on this one point, click delete, click on that point, delete, and you can just keep deleting back, okay? Just don't click here, delete, and then click delete because then everything will go away. I'm going to Control Z it to go back. See, and I'm just kind of retracing my steps back. And in this case, it wouldn't have mattered. But I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go down here, bend it out here, and then to save time, I'm just going to go all the way across the image. Now, if I wanted to cut all that out, I could, but I'm not going to. I go here, and then up here, here, and I'm just doing this real quick just so I can make that final connection. Now, if I zoom out, you'll see everything that I've outlined. See, that's everything that I've outlined there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my paths. If I click on paths, and this is in my toolbar, okay? Let me go back to my pointer tool. Go to path. Then I have to go to this little thing over here, this little drop down, and then that's going to zoom out and it's going to say make selection. All right? And then click on make selection. Before I do that though, if you don't have paths available, you want to go into window and then you want to go find paths. If I click on that, the whole thing is going to go away. So let me go back, and then what I'm going to want to do is go find paths. And then you can see my whole thing comes back. So I got paths, I've got actions, I've got channels, and I've got layers. A little side note, if you want to rearrange these, like let's say I don't use the channels as much, I can drag that over to the end, and then I've got layers and paths all next to each other. So my layers is here, my paths is here, and my actions are here. All right, so everything's kind of there. But anyway, go to paths, go to this little side drop down, go make selection. This part's important. Okay, I never just go at 0 because that's going to be too harsh of a line. I've done either 0.5 or 1 pixel. In this case, I'm going to go 0.5. Hit select. Okay, now another thing that I've taught before, and I'm going to teach it again right here, depending, let's say that you zoom in and you notice that on some of your image you didn't get as, like here, you can see I didn't get as close here as I wanted to. So I've got room that I could slide this entire selection in a little bit. So in order to do that, you can just go to image, select, modify, and then expand. And then I'm going to expand it by, let's go 1 pixel. Select OK, and now watch the line. Oh, that went out. I'm sorry. It's not expand, it's contract. Okay, we're learning together here. No, I just do it second nature. I don't think as I'm talking so much. You're going to go to contract. And then from there, go with 1 pixel, and you'll see it'll come in. See, it contracted, it didn't expand. I should have knew that. And then it just moved in and out. So if I go back, that's how it was, that's how it is. So we just brought it in a little bit, all right, on the skin, on the outfit, and all that stuff. So now what I'm going to do is go to select, or I'm sorry, a layer, new, and then I'm going to either copy it or cut it. Let's go back to the layer palette here, okay? So now what I want to do is I've got this background. It's basically just a background. I can double click on it to unlock it if I want to, which I will in this case. And then I'm going to go layer, new, and I'm going to copy it. And what copying it's going to do is just going to extract that outline and bring whatever's inside it out. So let's go there, and then you can see right there. The one thing that happens to people sometimes, and they get confused, and I know because it confused me at one point. Let me go back. Sometimes, depending on what you were working on before, this right here where it says inverse, let's just select that right now. If you were working on something else, or you ran an action, let's say, and the action automatically switched that to inverse, and you didn't even know it, well, what's going to happen here now, if I go to layer, new, copy, it's going to just cut out that. Look. Okay, and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, how do I get it to cut out the actual subject, right? How do I get it to lift the subject? Well, you want to go into select and then inverse that. So if I go back now, let's go, you would step it back. Here's your outline. Go select, inverse, and now layer, new, copy. All right, and there you go. All right, so now that we got that cut out, now what we have to do is we have to bring it into this particular one. Here is one of our digital creations that we sell and that we create for our Digital Creations Club. We also sell these on eBay, so a little shameless plug there. If you're not one of our members, or if you're interested in any of these, you can head over to newportraitbiz.com/club, and that'll take you right to that page, or you'll find the links below in this video, or of this video. I'll put them in the description box. But anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to basically take this, I'm going to drag this away from this nesting that's going on up here, and then I'm just going to move it off to the side. So now I've got this open, okay, and I've got this one open. So I've got two open. Now I'm just going to take this and drag it into this particular background. And then what I'm going to do, because over here in my layers palette, this is above, this is the very top layer. Watch, I'm going to bring this in. That doesn't look so good, okay? Because, why? Because the cover-up layer isn't over top of it. So if I just drag this down below the cover-up where it says subject here, look what happens. Now you may say, well, she's a little small. You're right. So let's just, I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm just going to make her a little bit bigger, and then click apply. Now some of you might be saying, well, Scott, how did you do that? I don't see a bounding box here. I don't see this around my image. Well, here's another little tip for you. Let me go back. If these boxes are not around here, or if this box is not around your image, it's because you don't have this up here selected where it says Show Transform Controls. You can just click on that, and then that'll appear. Or you can just go to Edit and then Transform Scale, and then that'll allow that box to show. But if you just want that to show automatically anytime you have something selected, like if I click on this here, see, it automatically puts that bounding box around it. So let me just click back on to my subject. I'm going to make her a little bit bigger. I'm holding shift so I make sure that the constraints stay the same. And I'm going to go ahead, click the pointer tool. It'll say, do you want to apply this? I say yes. And pretty much that looks good. I probably wouldn't even have to do anything else. But what I am going to do is I'm going to give her a little bit more contrast. So let me go to Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. I'm going to punch that up a little bit. And the other thing that I might do is I might try to warm her up a little bit. I don't know. I'll try it. Let me go into, to warm her up, I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, and I'm going to go to Photo Filter. And that's actually too much, but let me tone it down and see if I can make her look a little bit more creamy looking. Yeah, that's pretty good. And that would be good, right? I mean, that's pretty good. The other thing I could do, I can go into my curves. If I wanted to further adjust her, I can go into my curves, and if I wanted to just bring down the levels just a little bit, maybe she was a little bit too bright, I can do that as well. You can play around with that. But anyway, you get the idea. That's how simple it was to cut out using the pen tool, and then I get a really nice even. Now let me just pull this in here, and you're going to see that if we look around her, it's a nice soft edge. right? I didn't have to do any further blending with that. Okay, a lot of that has to do with, too, is that our background is soft to begin with, and we do that on purpose because whenever you do photography and you get that shallow depth of field, you don't want this edge to be harsh. You don't want it to be too soft. You want it to be just right. And there's other tips and stuff that you can do to further make that softer if you need to, which I'm not going to go into in this case, because if you do it this way, and if you're using the proper digital backgrounds and props, you shouldn't have any problems. It should be that easy as what I just did, and cut that image out and then insert the subject into a digital creation or a digital background or prop like this. But you can see that looks really, really believable, and I think it's a pretty good job. So that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you use the pen tool to cut out and extract your subjects and then put them into a digital background or digital prop. Let me just mention here, I'll include the link below in the description box, and then that way there you can go check that stuff out if you want to and see kind of what we're all about if you don't know us. And I just want to break this down real quick. If you look at the cover-up layer, we give you this way here, you turn it on and off. It makes it nice and easy. The other thing is we have the cart on its own layer. So let me turn that off, turn her off, and then this. So now we just have the background. So if we just wanted to use the background for another digital creation, we could. With a different prop, we could do that. Or we could take this prop and bring it into another background. So that's the versatility of being able to use a digital creation that we create like this. All right, so let me just turn that back on, and we're going to end on that note. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Leave them down below this video, or if you're on the blog, leave them on the blog. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. I enjoyed making this video for you, as I always do. I hope you got a lot out of it. And if you have any questions, like I said, just let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Once again, this is Scott with NewPortraitBiz.com, and I'll talk to you soon.